you live ECU?
R.
Do you bleed purple and gold? Are you ready to hoist the colors?
Hoist the colors!
It's time for the most in-depth look into the world of ECU athletics. Welcome to Hoist the Colors with your host, Stephen Igo on 94.3 The Game. Watch the show live on Facebook and at 943thegame.com. Here's Stephen Igo.
It's a football Friday, a big football Friday. The NFL playoffs are here. College football playoff semifinals are underway. Great game last night between Ole Miss and Miami. Miami prevails. They're heading to the national title game for the first time since 2002. We'll react to that. Big transfer portal news. ECU gets a quarterback. We'll break that down as well, and a lot more coming as far as the commitments we'll dive into. It has been a busy week. We'll kind of recap the week that was in the portal, really the first 2 weeks to kind of add players. The semester starts next week, but I think they'll still add some players after the start of the semester. So we'll get into that. We got game picks and a whole lot more for the NFL. We'll discuss the matchups and dive into those things. In studio today, we've got Bobby Harward. He's brought to you by Basil's. Bobby, how you doing, sir?
Doing good. It feels like it's been a while. I haven't seen you guys since last year. I had to get the
good dad joke.
I had to get the dad joke in. It was too easy. It was literally right there sitting on a tee for me. But no, this is saw somebody kind of compare it. Like, is this football's version of March Madness? Like this Thursday, Friday into the weekend. Y'all kind of hinted at it at the end of yesterday's show, but like it's an incredible slate coming up. I'm really excited. So we're actually I got to be on site where I work. My company's based up in the Triangle on Monday, and so I'm actually going to be up there Sunday, and just me and my pops and my mom. We're going to be watching football all day. No kids running around, nothing like that. I think they're already talking about ordering wings and getting some appetizers. So it's I feel like that first run next week is going to be pretty brutal.
Well, enjoy the weekend, because I said yesterday, I was like, before we know it, football will be gone, and we'll have to wait till next fall for it to be back. So enjoy it while it lasts. Philip, I know you're fired up. Your Panthers are a little bit more than 24 hours away from taking the field, so how much tailgating you getting in tomorrow?
Due to weather, I think a lot of the tailgating will be happening at one of the local bars in Charlotte, just because we don't want to get caught up in a thunderstorm. So, and for the ladies, it's always a little nicer for the bathrooms instead of using a porta-john. So I think we're just going to go to a bar, hang out for 3 or 4 hours before the game, but we'll consume some adult beverages, but I'm also one of those guys, like, I like to be fully focused when my team's watching. I feel like if I got a buzz, it's really hard to, like, in the speed of an NFL game, really realize what happened on the plays. Like, okay, well, what coverage were they in there? Why did this go wrong? Why did this go right? And I feel like if I've got any sort of buzz, I misread a lot of things. So I like to, like 2 beers for the game and I'm good, but I'll definitely eat too many chicken wings and chips. And like Bobby said, that first run might be rough next week. I think I'm probably going to run some hills in my parents' neighborhood tomorrow morning. Their neighborhood's pretty hilly to at least, pre-burn off some of the stuff I'm about to consume. And then our guy, Zach Kaplan, I just found out, is going to the game to cover it, and he's going to be spending the night hanging out watching Packers-Bears at my parents' house. We're going to have a great time. It's going to be a great weekend.
And your approach in the bar is actually probably going to help your wallet, too, because, as you know, it's a little bit cheaper taking a case of beer to a tailgate lot than it is ordering pints at a bar.
That is true. So it's going to help my dad's wallet a lot, yeah.
There you go.
What's the latest weather report? Is it like surefire thunderstorms?
No, it's scattered thunderstorms, which, you don't want the lightning, right? The lightning delays suck. You want the weather, you want the rain, you want the wind. I wouldn't mind some sleet. Freezing rain, something out of the ordinary to slow down Matthew Stafford and Puka Nacua. I'll take it. Tidal waves, tornadoes, just no lightning, because that delays the game.
Yes, nobody wants a delay, especially the NFL, so they don't want their playoff games overlapping. All right, we've got the chat. Destry, the Pirate, is in the chat, says, what a week, and Kenny Crone says, guys, have a great weekend. Appreciate the chat. It's been blowing up all week long. We've had a lot of great guests on the show. Former Pirates, Raheem Craig, Marlon Gunn, Peyton Mangrum, Sam Danka, also a ton of transfer talk. Let's get into the big news from yesterday. ECU gets a transfer portal quarterback. Is it The quarterback? I don't know, but it is a quarterback. Mitch Griffis commits from Texas Tech, former Wake Forest starter, started 10 games there. Interesting story. You can read it online. After his time at Wake Forest, transferred to Marshall, basically left football to pour concrete, somehow got called by the Texas Tech coaches to come back into college football, went to Lubbock for a year, kind of fell back in love with the game again. Didn't play a ton, but when he did, he had success in a very different system of the air raid, which looks same tree. Their offensive coordinator, Mark Leftwich, used to be on staff with Jordan Davis and Eric Morris at Incarnate Word. So you have that system, that tree, up and down at Wake Forest, which was a much different system with the slow mesh concept. So I think, obviously, you have to watch the Wake Forest film, and that is a factor, but I think he's a good fit for the system. I'm sure Jordan Davis and the coaches at Texas Tech have talked. His grandparents went to ECU, so I feel good about him being an option. I think ECU will still add to the quarterback room. I think there are some plans there. I continue to hear very mixed things about Chasten Ditta potentially entering the portal. I don't know if he just doesn't want to compete for the job, but either way, we'll see what happens there. But, Bobby, your thoughts on Mitch Griffis coming in as a transfer portal quarterback?
Yeah, is he like ECU's version of Vince Papale or whatever?
I think he's 24 years old at this point, so he's been around for quite some time.
Yeah, I think he's a nice addition to the room. Obviously, depending, as you mentioned, what happens with Chasten there, I think if you have a handful of guys competing for the job that. Let's be honest, at a place like East Carolina, you feel pretty good about that can come in and compete, and you hope one of them can separate themselves throughout spring ball and throughout fall camp. And, I know the other guy they had in visiting, was it Bowen from Coastal Carolina?
Oh, Emmett Brown.
Yeah. Brown. I knew it was WN and started with a B. But, obviously he had an ACL concern, so probably would have been limited in spring practice. Griffis can get the full spring in. I saw some posts. I guess his mom's already trying to figure out a place for him to stay, which is cool. But, these guys are familiar with each other. You've kind of mentioned it before. I know I've mentioned it before. All these air raid guys are pretty tight-knit. They communicate frequently, bounce things off of each other, visit each other in the offseason. So the fact that he was at Texas Tech, there's that connection there with the coaching staff, definitely makes me feel a lot more comfortable.
Mitch Griffis, Philip, how do you feel about the addition of the Texas Tech quarterback? We profiled him earlier this week, and your take on the big news.
Yeah, this is a guy who comes in. I think he's appeared in 29 football games, 10 starts. Maybe they didn't go quite as well as he wanted to. Hey, does this sound familiar at all? Sounds a lot like the Caton Hauser situation. I think this is one of those guys, look, he's not going to go out there and make you a championship contender overnight by himself. He's the guy that if you put him in the system that suits his abilities and you play to his strengths, you can win a championship with him. I'm not saying a national championship, but a conference championship, you can win with him. Look, with that being said, would it be nice still to bring in another guy? Yeah. So right now, as far as I know, Steven, correct me if I'm wrong, are Hodge, Ditta, and Jeter still technically all on the roster, right?
Yeah, but Jeter's in the portal.
Oh, Jeter is in the portal? Okay. So right now you're sitting there with three. You're sitting with two redshirt freshmen and a grown man. It would be nice to bring in another grown man or another guy there in the middle. I would guess, we kind of talked about the guy from Coastal, I guess, kind of falling through, it sounds like, or so we believe. Anything can happen, right? So, we'll see what happens. I would still like to bring in one more guy. But
you want at least 4 scholarship quarterbacks.
I want
right?
4 scholarships.
At least. Well, and especially in this system, they really want 5 to 6 arms for practice. If they're still doing the whole routes on air thing, you got 5 balls in the air at one time because you're throwing routes to all 5 guys. So,
exactly.
They'll at least bring in, I would imagine, 1 if not 2 more.
Well, yeah, but the point is with that, though, Bobby, now you're just saying I still want 4 to 5 scholarship, but that 6th guy can always be a walk-on.
Yeah,
but still,
true.
Bringing in 1 to 2 more guys. It just, look, unfortunately, it's probably going to be similar situations, right? A guy who's probably been in his boat hasn't really worked out. So, we'll see, but I like the addition. This you at least feel good with, right? Like, you don't feel great, but like, okay, we've got a guy who started college football games Power 5 level. Like, we're in a good spot.
And it's his last year of eligibility. And everybody I've talked to, I know some people at Texas Tech, that just rave about how he was off the field. You know, even as a guy coming back into football, knowing probably he wasn't going to play a lot at Texas Tech, like great mentor for some of the younger guys in the room. So I think at worst you're adding a really solid person to your program who probably I would think is going to be hungry to compete for the starting job in his last year of eligibility. So,
should be more reason for this not even to be a decision for Chasten Ditta, you would think. I mean, if those reports are true, and I'm assuming they are since they're coming from you, that he's a great leader and stuff, what better situation for Ditta to get a chance to compete for the starting position? So you're competing, you have an opportunity to win it, and if you don't win it outright, you're sitting by a vet who is behind a vet who's going to be gone after this year, and the next year's yours, and you're learning everything from him. So to me, it sets up great for him. It's kind of a win-win situation in a way, even losing that battle if he were to lose it. Yeah. But to me, that's incentive to stay.
I'm with you, and I think ECU would want him to stay. I don't know. I get word that guys are – not saying Chasten is in this boat, but a lot of people are scared to compete these days. I mean, I know he had a good performance in the bowl game, but I don't think he should be handed the starting job as a result of that. So I think most people would agree with that. So we'll see what happens there. Kenny says if we fool around with the quarterback position, it will bite us in the butt again. Unfortunately, we have no room for errors. And I think that's why you're bringing in a guy like Griffis. He's not the only guy ECU will bring in from the portal, per my sources. So, this gives you – to me, a baseline. He's better than what we saw from Alex Flynn and Mason Garcia in 23. So I think you have a good baseline to fall back on. Let's get into some of the –
Can I add to that for a second, too? And I think in defense of Blake and their staff, I think that's what makes these dates so hard, too, is because of the pecking order, East Carolina being a little bit further down on the order, obviously, compared to those P4s, and then you're up against the clock with the portal window ending. You want your quarterback in for spring ball. Well, classes start on Monday the 12th, and then you still have 4 days to, they can work some stuff with admissions to get them in and get them started, but especially with some teams still playing in the playoffs, and you got, Miami's playing, Carson Beck's leaving. Has Miami chosen their quarterback yet?
They have not. I did read they were supposed to have a quarterback from the portal visit. I don't remember who it was, though.
Okay. So, I mean, that's the other thing. How hard is it to conduct a visit when you're trying to prep to play in the damn national championship game? And the good thing is they don't have to fly.
Yeah, and then you got Ole Miss, Chambliss, in their concerns about if he gets an extra year of eligibility or not.
And then, Simmons already left.
Right.
Sounds like Miami is going to look at Sam Leavitt.
Okay, from Arizona State.
Yeah, who's already been to Kentucky, Texas Tech, LSU. So
yeah,
they're going to bring in a transfer at the top just because it works so good with Cam Ward and Carson Beck. But, yeah, it's one of those things, man. It's just there is a pecking order, and it's a process. And I don't know. I mean, even if ECU has to – and I don't know what the deal is with Emmett Brown. I like Emmett Brown's film from San Jose State. I mean, he can throw the rock. He's small. And he's coming off an injury, but I think there are some things in play. There's been some quarterbacks that entered the portal in the last 24, 48 hours. So we'll see. But I do agree, guys. Ultimately, you got to get at least 4 scholarship quarterbacks, if not 5. And they do have a freshman coming in. But between him and Cole Hodge, I don't think you can necessarily expect a whole lot, but we'll see. He was recruited by JDB, probably for a different system. So we'll see what unfolds there. I tell you what, let's get a break in. We'll come back. We'll hit on the rest of the additions. A lot of big news from the portal yesterday, and it sounds like they are getting some commitments as well. Somebody asked, does Mason Garcia have any eligibility left? Asking for a friend. And Will says he is selling real estate now. So, yeah, he is down in Myrtle Beach doing that. But a lot of big additions yesterday from the portal outside of quarterback as well that I want to hit on. So we'll get a break in. We'll come back. We'll continue on a Football Friday. Hoist the colors.
The team of Flatlands Jessup is working overtime to help ensure that Eastern North Carolinians like you get the health insurance help you need this open enrollment period. New legislation passed, meaning more people than ever qualify for affordable coverage. Let us help you today.
Big tax credits are back. Get a 30% tax credit, up to $2,000 off your new Mitsubishi electric heat pump install. Let Comfort Master help you take advantage of the tax credits with a qualifying Mitsubishi electric ducted heat pump or non-ducted Mitsubishi electric mini splits. Mitsubishi electric mini splits are ideal for bonus rooms, garages, or sunrooms. If you need a new HVAC unit, call Comfort Master today.
Call Comfort Master. Call Comfort Master.
You know what the problem is with standard belts? Usually you have to choose between too tight or the opposite, too loose. But with Anson Belt and Buckle, you don't have to choose. We got rid of the holes and instead have a track system designed for micro adjustability. That way you can enjoy a perfect fit every time. Anson Belt and Buckle. Find your perfect fit today.
Healthwise Pharmacy rounds the bases with all of your infusion, retail, compounding, and medical equipment needs. Locally owned and operated by pharmacist Marcy Parker, Healthwise has grown to be your most trusted provider for infusion services. Currently providing in-home or on-site infusions in North Carolina, South Carolina, and Virginia. Visit Healthwise Pharmacy at 615B South Memorial Drive or call 252-295-0059 to speak to a patient service representative to find the option that best suits your needs.
Tired of the 1-800 numbers advertising Medicare products? Flatlands Jessup has 6 offices all throughout eastern North Carolina. Get face-to-face help from our local award-winning licensed team. Stop by today. Flatlands Jessup, your whole world covered.
The best burgers around. Everyone loves a thick, juicy, and fresh burger. Tiebreakers does real burgers better than anybody. And don't forget about the cheese sticks, fresh salads, and more. So don't just go to any burger-themed restaurant chain. It's time to break the chain and eat local. Tiebreakers, burgers and sports at its best.
Go Pirates! Arg!
In this age of globalization, we've learned that bigger isn't always better. Ever tried to get phone help from a big corporation from a real person? Right. That's what's so nice about Phelps Chevrolet. After more than 50 years serving our community, Phelps remains family-owned and operated. Mike, Daryl, Wave, West, Allen, and Clay deliver hometown service and integrity, same as always. They share your experience, they share your values, and they are ready to help with any motoring need. Come get you one.
Pirates play here.
Time to play the game!
This is Hoist the Colors with Stephen Igo on 94.3 The Game.
All right, welcome back in. Hoist the Colors on a Football Friday. So we were kind of hinting at this segment one. It just broke. Pete Thamel just tweeted out, East Carolina quarterback Chasten Ditta is entering the transfer portal. And look, I'm not going to rag on a young man, but to me, this is what's wrong with college football, man. You got a guy who he played well in the bowl game for expectations. Tough opponent, we talked about it. 2 big passes. And for him to enter the portal because ECU's bringing in some competition, I don't get it. It frustrates me. Wish Chasten the best. He's got to make a decision that he feels is best for him. But, this is what's wrong with college football, man. If you're scared to compete for a job, that just rubs me the wrong way.
No, I agree with you because, one thing I wanted to mention today, and I think this is kind of segueing right into it, Jamari Riddle. To me, that is how the portal should be used in the sense of he played his bowl game, he finished out the year the right way, did everything he was supposed to do, and now he's getting the opportunity to go play on the highest of highest stages. And then you got a situation like this where this is what's wrong with the portal. As you mentioned, guys are not wanting to compete. Guys are not wanting to stick it through. And it makes it so hard on these coaching staffs to develop guys into their system where they can be contributors in year 3 or 4. We want microwaved results. And these guys, just from a physical standpoint and a mental standpoint, need to be baked in the oven. And that's the analogy that I'm going to roll with here because physically you see these freshmen, they're playing against grown men. You're playing against 22, 23-year-olds. And then mentally, this game at this level is so much more difficult than high school. There's a lot more to process post-snap and pre-snap, and especially at the quarterback position. To me, I mean, I hope it works out for him because I'm never going to wish bad on anybody, but I wish he would have stuck it out because we just talked through this scenario of, hey, you get a chance to compete. Worst case scenario, you lose the job, you're behind Griffis, and you roll from there.
Yeah, it's disappointing. Somebody texted me, said maybe he's going to get paid and be a guaranteed starter somewhere else. I mean, at the FBS level, somebody's guaranteeing him a chance to start after one decent game where he hit on a couple explosive plays, then, like, I don't blame him. But if somebody's paying him, they must be desperate for a quarterback. I mean,
well, and really, you can argue Anthony Smith made those explosive plays because one of those was an underneath route he took for 70.
Yeah, so, I mean, like, I didn't see enough in that game. I was very encouraged by his demeanor, not overwhelmed by the moment, competitive nature. We talked about all that, but, like, I didn't see enough in that game to hand him the job at all. And, look, if he said, hey, I want the job or I'm transferring, then if I'm ECU, I would say transfer because you're not guaranteed anything here. You don't want to hand a job to a freshman quarterback who still has not proven a whole heck of a lot.
Well, the other thing, too, is like, where does he think that he's going to go and be given the keys to the car right off the bat? Like, he's probably going to have to compete regardless. And to your guys' point, like, look, the one thing I'll give him from that game is the moment wasn't too big. He played well. He didn't play great. I mean, he still was like 8 for 17. Like, that's not cutting it. Now, he was a true freshman playing in a game that he got thrown into last minute. He did what he had to do to give the team an opportunity to win. He's going to be a lot better week 1 of next year than he is here, but he's not going to be so good that somebody's going to say, hey, here's the keys to the Ferrari, go drive it. I mean, it's just not at that level. And to y'all's point, like, you're young. You're only a freshman. Next year is technically going to be his freshman year of eligibility. Like, this is not saying he's never going to start here. They brought in a rising senior. They didn't bring in, the kid from Mercer, who's also the same age as him. Or they didn't, also, like, Jeter's gone. Hauser's gone. There were only, 2 guys left in the quarterback room, him and Cole Hodge. What do you expect? We're going to roll out there with 2 guys? It's not the NFL.
I just don't get it. I've heard maybe he goes to North Texas, but even if he goes to North Texas, he's going to have to compete for the job. I mean, they're not going to hand him the job, so I don't know, man. This is college football now. Nothing surprises me. It is what it is. But disappointing news, Chasten Ditta in the transfer portal. All right, we'll react to that more as we can. ECU is continuing to add to the portal themselves or via the portal themselves. The big news, Ray Joseph from Miami, slot receiver, committed last night. ECU has now added 3 receivers. Landon Sides from North Texas. Jakeith Hamilton from Furman, 6'2 receiver. You've got Brock Spalding returning. Ray, more of a slot. Sides and Spalding can play inside or out, although they have more slot builds. You have Jakeith, who's 6'2". He'll play on the perimeter. They're recruiting another perimeter receiver. Let's start there. Bobby, your thoughts on – look, anytime you add a player named Ray, I feel like he's got to be pretty explosive, so hopefully he lives up to the name.
You would think so, but honestly, I was so stoked about Jaquez Petaway last year.
Yeah.
I'm not going to get overly excited about a slot receiver at ECU for a while unless Ray can prove me wrong. I hope he turns out. I think he has the potential to turn out, but I'm going to be tempered with my expectations. Continuing the receiver room, though, to your point, they need to add somebody explosive on the outside with some height. I think that's what they're missing. They seem loaded in the slot, but they need to get some big body, on the outside. It looks like to me, I could be wrong, but Jakeith Hamilton probably would fit more into that air raid Z position, and you still probably want a true X receiver that can take the top off from the outside. I think Ray can fit in nicely at the 2 slot positions, and then obviously is it Sides that you mentioned from North Texas, and then Brock coming back. So you still need one guy outside with length and speed ideally, and then I think that room is set.
Yeah, I think you got to add another outside guy, but I do like the explosiveness I'm seeing. Sides is explosive. We know. I think Ray's more of a shifty slot guy, like short space quickness more so than big time vertical speed type receiver. But I like the addition there. ECU also adds Michael Allen at running back, Ashton Gray as well. We talked about earlier this week. So you're starting to get those skill positions, 2 tight ends. Bobby, your thoughts I know we need some more linemen. That seems to be a priority right now. Hopefully hear some news on that today, but just offensively as a whole.
Yeah, I like the Ashton Gray signing a lot. Obviously he had success with Jordan calling it in the bowl game, and that was a big game for him. So glad he trusted him enough from there, from that bowl game experience to make the trip to Greenville and commit to the Pirates. Michael Allen, cool story, I think, but again, I don't know how much production we'll get from him. We'll see. I think it's going to be great for him to compete. I mean, obviously he was a high-profile guy coming out and a local J.H. Rose kid. And then, to me, the biggest thing is lock up some more of these big boys. I feel like they've attacked the portal nicely from the offensive side. They've clearly had a plan, and it looks like and seems like having an expanded budget this year has definitely helped.
Philip, we have talked about everything, I believe, except for – at this point, really the O-line, which we talked about Ethan Kramer, versatile piece there, and we were at this point we know ECU's got to add at least one more, if not two more quarterbacks. So, but I feel like overall Jordan Davis has done a nice job along with his staff in terms of getting the initial pieces, and now we just see, all right, what does the O-line look like? Maybe fill out the receiver room a touch more, and then let's get another quarterback.
Yeah, I agree. Look, O-line, not to the level of quarterback with pecking order, but it does seem to happen a little later for the schools like East Carolina as well. So, it's great we've got one, to your point. We need 1, 2, hell, maybe 3 more even. It's for me to feel comfortable just because we're losing all 5 starters. With that being said, I expect it to be, early next week. If we're sitting here, next Wednesday, next Thursday, and we've had no more O-line commits, I'll be a little worried. But if this happens Sunday or Monday, look, that's just the nature of the beast. We've talked about it. Linebackers, corners, receivers, running backs, they kind of go quick. O-line, D-line to an extent, and quarterbacks really do go off the pecking order. And, hey, look, we got our quarterback, we got an O-lineman. So, we're in a good spot, and I love they're just getting bodies out there, though. But to Bob's point, yeah, could you get a more true X guy? Like, it's good to have a Z, obviously, or by old school, it's good to have a flanker, and now you need the split end.
Defensively, Pirates have added 3 corners now: Ashton Levels, Jalen Bowden from Minnesota, and Ramon Mosby from Louisville. Now, Mosby and also they added Christian Peterson, the nickel/safety from UCF. Mosby, Peterson, and Demarius Hines, who is coming off an injury but would have been a candidate to start at safety last year. They all were at Westlake High School in Atlanta underneath Rico Zachary, who's coaching the outside linebackers now. So you've got more continuity in the ECU secondary with those 3 guys than half of college football right now with the way this thing's going. But I kind of like that story. No linebacker yet. Zakai Barker coming home. I'm hearing that's a very real possibility. Stay tuned for that. And D-line, I think they're pretty set, although they probably need to add a depth piece. But what do you think about the defense thus far, Bobby?
Yeah, I think it's pretty clear what their, strategy is from a secondary perspective. Like, they're bringing guys in that were a handful that are pretty highly talented or test well and were rated highly out of high school. And then you got a couple proven guys coming in. I know the kid from Minnesota didn't work out quite well as he had hoped at Minnesota, but Jalen Bowden coming back here as a bounce back, like you've mentioned before, from North Carolina Central, where he did play well. Like, I love that move. I love what they've done in the secondary, and especially with the amount of numbers they've brought in, surely 1 or 2 of them will pop.
All right, some comments here, as you would expect. A lot of people talking about Chasten Ditta. Matt said maybe Ditta's not cut out for the new offense. You never know what goes on behind closed doors. I think he'd be a good fit from what we saw. But whatever at this point.
And like Neil Brown's going to run something very similar to what they're running here. So if North Texas is that location, it ain't much different than what we're doing here.
Maybe we should ask Mason Garcia to come back at this point, just to have an extra body in the room. Will says faster track to start developing Cole Hodge once Griffis departs. Yeah, I think Hodge has got to make a lot of growth to get there, but we'll see. And Matthew says Ditta has to compete. We have some good talent coming in. A lot of people speculating he's going back closer to home. Look, I mean, again, I'm not surprised, but it's just disappointing. And it is what it is. Guys got to make decisions what they feel is best for them. I'm sure some agent got in the family's ear and promised them some money. Maybe they can get some money, but I thought it was a pretty good situation at ECU. All right. Any idea what Florida gave London Montgomery? Matt wants to know.
Was that the choice?
Yeah. So he is going there, and Florida.
I missed that.
So Florida Gators are loaded at running back. Loaded. So like
he's like the fifth dude on the depth chart.
At best, he is going to be third. So like, I guess he got paid, but like at this point, I don't know. I mean, you had a chance to be the guy at ECU, and you go to Florida, which like you can play in the SEC. You're already at Penn State. You didn't play there. I just don't get some of this stuff, man.
This is where the agents are just so screwy with these kids. It's terrible. I mean, putting it in their ear, they can make all this money. And yeah, he's going to get money, but he's not going to get an opportunity. So was his goal to get as much money as he could while in college, knowing he may not be an NFL guy? Or is his goal to play in the NFL? I'd imagine most guys playing college football want to play in the NFL. That case should have stayed here where he's going to get an opportunity to play.
Bobby, the issue, these guys, they're not real agents.
I know.
They didn't go to law school. They're not freaking agents. They want their 10% cut. That's the only thing. They want the money. You're right about that, and I know you were talking about the player. I get it. And you're right. Everything, I'm not trying to discount what you said, but this is just me being ticked off here. This is not me yelling at you. But the problem is these so-called agents just want their 10% cut. They don't give a crap whether the kid plays or not.
Yeah, they need to go the NFL route where these agents have to get certified. They have to go through a process and sign all that contract. Right now, I could go be an agent and represent who knows who, and that's how bad it is. And now you got all these, to your point, Philip, talking about a 10% cut, which is absolutely crazy. You coming in here and just looking out for themselves and their financial gain rather than the best interest of these student athletes.
Bob, I got 4 years of eligibility left. You want to be my agent? Can you get me on a college football roster?
Now.
Let's do it.
I'll take 4%.
All right, let's do it, baby. I'm playing college football next year. Pilk Center in the portal.
Are we going to have a segment where we just go through the training process of Pilk?
We could. Oh, my God. It'd be ugly now.
John Moody says the Dittler, December 27th to January 9th. It was a good run. Yep. The Chaston-Ditta era lasted a solid, 14 days?
Hey, he was undefeated, though, baby.
He
never
was.
lost.
He had the best winning percentage in ECU football quarterback history. It just makes you shake your head, man. Again, I'm with Bobby. Like, I wish him the best, but it's crazy, man. It's not like he was highly recruited either. That's the other thing. Like, ECU took a chance on him out of high school. He comes here. Whatever. I could go off for an hour about this stuff, man. I'm going to stop myself. Let's get a break in. We have some picks to make. We will we'll do that on the other side. If we get any other breaking news, we'll react to it. We have all offseason to talk about this stuff, and we'll have some fun with it. But let's get a break in. NFL playoff talk, CFP talk on the other side.
Storm season is approaching. North Carolina weather can damage your roof, and before long, a small leak can turn into a big problem. Your home is one of your biggest investments, so protect it with Wells Home Improvements.
We work with all insurance companies for a hassle-free roof installation experience. Call us today and get 10% off your roof installation when you mention this commercial.
252-227-8403 or visit us online at wellshomeimprovements.com. Wells Home Improvements. Local, honest, dependable.
This is about you, your family, and the health of all who live in Eastern North Carolina. This is about the transformation of a health system into something more powerful and more human. About creating new ways to treat disease and keep you well. This is about ECU Health, which is to say, it's really all about you. ECU Health. Minds, hearts, purpose.
You have a choice when you invest in insurance, and when you choose First State Insurance Advisors, you're working with people you can trust. Clark Stallings has deep ties in the community. His team, including Keaton Smith, Regina Asby, Phil Leyva, Max Joyner Jr., Max Joyner III, and Ginger Smith, provides knowledgeable and professional advice. First State Insurance Advisors is an independent insurance agency. They offer all types of personal insurance as well as various types for business. Call or email First State Insurance Advisors today. We want to be your trusted choice agency.
Acre Station Meat Farm, along with Lane Angus Beef, bring you Farm to Fork Beef.
Stock your freezers now with affordable beef boxes, just in time for the grilling season.
Farm to Fork Beef brings quality local beef to your family. From your traditional butcher shop, Acre Station Meat Farm. Come on down to Acre Station Meat Farm and find out why we're #1 in fresh cuts and friendly service.
Acre Station Meat Farm, Highway 32 North, Pinetown. At National Finance, we're all about hometown support, just like ECU football. National Finance helps us win on and off the field. They've got your back when you need it most. Fast, easy personal loans for life's big plays. And just like us, they're committed to Eastern North Carolina. National Finance, proud supporters of ECU athletics. Visit nfcmoney.com for loans as fast as today.
Bobby Harvard alongside. Brought to you by Basil's today. Check them out by the AMC Movie Theater on Fire Tower Road. They do a great job with lunch, dinner, sandwiches, pizza, pasta. They got it all. Great salads as well. Basil's. Check them out. Appreciate their support of the program. Philip Pilkington producing. He'll be near Bank of America Stadium at this time tomorrow, preparing for the game, trying to stay out of the rain. We'll make some NFL picks in a second. We just reacted to the Chasten and Dida news. I'm also simultaneously trying to write this article while broadcasting, so if I lose focus in any moment, that is why. All right, let's get into playoff picks. We're going to do CFP second. We're going to do NFL first. And do we have a standings update? Philip, by chance?
Yeah, we do. Whatever I say in the standings, I had one more loss to everybody because we all picked Ole Miss. And we all got it wrong.
Yes.
So,
heck of a game, by the way.
It takes a long time to talk. We've had a lot of weeks. All right. So, standings update. Bob was 120 and 121. So now you're 120 and 122. Steven, 116 and 125. So now 116 and 126. And let's just say I've got some catching up to do. I got 108 wins and now 134 losses after last night.
I feel like a lot of that is coming bowl season.
Yep, it has. I'm bad at picking these crap bowl games. That's the problem. All these stupid opt-outs and these crap bowl games, and you guys beat me because I don't look at who opts out. Because honestly, I don't care.
And if anybody wonders why Vegas wins money, this is why.
Yeah. Vegas is behind opt-outs. Vegas is behind the portal. Vegas is behind all the crap. It's all their fault. I'm spreading the rumor.
I'm in for this conspiracy theory. I'd love to do a segment on it.
Let's do it. I got my tinfoil hat on. Let's be conspiracy theorists.
Maybe during a summer show when we have less to talk about, we can get into that. Let's make some picks, gentlemen. I pulled up my notes, and I have an empty notepad, so that's not going to help me out. Let's see if I can find the numbers I sent you guys. It is...
Rams are 10.5-point favorites. That's the first
we'll
one.
Start there. I got freaking Scott Rogers texting me stupid gifs in the chat. It's distracting me on the air. All right, Rams are a 10.5-point favorite at the Panthers. Philip, you said that this is going to be some weather here, and that I'm not going to say I'm going to pick the Panthers, but I will say the combination of weather and Cam Newton being the drum banger, is that the correct term?
The keep pounding drummer.
The keep pounding drummer has me like, all right, like I'm not a Panthers fan, but I can get behind this. Like I'm kind of fired up to see Cam Newton back in Bank of America Stadium. That said, I'm going Rams. I think they just end up winning by multiple scores. Now, they could win by 10 and Panthers could cover, but I think the Rams are just too good. I think they show up this time, whether or not, and they get it done. Bobby.
Yeah, I'm torn on this one. I think the weather is going to play a factor. Philip and I were talking about this earlier. I think the Panthers' only real path to success in this game is to play slow, ball-controlled offense. I don't think the Panthers win, and I think they could lose by 10, but I think they cover.
So I had an interesting theory before the game, or before the show that I brought up to Bob, and that is, I think whether or not the Rams cover, depending on how aggressive Sean McVay wants to be, there's going to be a decision in this game early, maybe midway through, where the Rams have the ball 4th and 3 on the 15-yard line. If he kicks, I think they score 24 points in this game. I think the Panthers are somewhere in the 14 to 17 range, and I think the Panthers cover. If he goes for it, I think they score 28 points, and the Panthers are somewhere in the 14 to 17 range, and the Rams cover. Sean McVay's a gutsy coach. I'm going with the Rams. I think they go for it. I think they win at 28-17. With that being said, the one thing I want to do, and I know we got to get going here, Panther fans, if you are going, do not wait until the Rams break the huddle to get loud. Let's remember, this is a true air raid offense, guys, which means the play call is the formation, protection, the original play call, and either 3 or 4 tags after that. The Rams call more timeouts to save delay of games than any team in the country, even when they're at home, because the play calls are so long. We've got to be loud the second McVay starts signaling or calling the play into Stafford. We can't wait for them to break the huddle. They're fine once they break the huddle. They get the ball snapped quickly. Where you can force the delay of games is during that air raid long play call. It's the longest play calls in the NFL. He probably has the longest play calls in NFL history. That's when we need to be loud, boys. And it's the Panther fans, so they'll be wine and cheese crowd. Everybody will be sitting down because Panther fans suck, so everything I just said won't matter, but we need to be loud the whole time on defense.
You know, remind me to send y'all this Instagram video that I saw this week. Speaking of McVay's play call, it's ridiculous how long it was. I mean, Stafford was literally sitting there in the huddle telling the guys he's still going. He's still going.
That's why because if he misses one thing and he's got to redo that, boom, delay of game or timeout. Like I'm not kidding when I say this stuff, but fans are too dumb to realize. Well, not fans in general. Panther fans are too dumb. If it was like the Eagles fans, like Mark Miller, like they go crazy. To Broncos fans, Redskin fans back in the day when y'all were good, but Panthers fans are morons. So.
Yeah, it is what it is, man. The Broncos under Sean Payton have some absurdly long play calls as well. They're always getting timeouts. Bo Nix is always yelling at Sean Payton. But either way, that's neither here nor there. And I do agree. Great insight, Philip. Nobody will listen to you, though. Because
I know, but I had to say, I had to at least go on record and say it so that I can bitch on Monday when we weren't allowed.
That's completely fair. Completely fair. All right, so Bobby's on the Panthers, and we are on the Rams. All right. We also have Packers-Bears. NFC Saturday. Only NFC games. Packers are 1.5-point favorites going to Chicago. Green Bay has honestly just been pretty terrible to finish the season. But a lot of that, I think, is by design. They've been arresting Jordan Love. They've been arresting Josh Jacobs. Obviously, Michael Parsons is not coming back. But I just don't think the Bears, as good of a season as they've had, are ready for this moment. I think the Packers are a little bit better team. I'm going to go Green Bay here on the road in what should be a very fun, physical game. I just think the Packers have kind of been letting their foot off the gas. My question is, can they get back to that level that they were after kind of really taking the last month off in some ways?
It's going to be a good data point for those who want to rest starters and whatnot going forward. And I had not considered that. I had just thought of how bad Green Bay has been the last month. So coming into today, I was thinking of taking the Bears. But now that you mention all that, I agree with you. I think Green Bay is the better football team. Jordan Love's back to full health or as healthy as he can be, and same with Josh Jacobs. I think it's going to be really hard for Chicago. It's going to be an awesome atmosphere, and I believe there's supposed to be snow in the forecast, if I'm not mistaken, which Chicago, Green Bay in the playoffs with it snowing, I mean, it really doesn't get much better.
Are you taking Green Bay? You never made your
Green Bay. Yeah. Sorry.
I think you did hint at it, but never officially said it.
Well, that to your point, everything you just described is how the good Lord intended football to be played between the Packers and the Bears and the snow in the playoffs at night. My worry is Green Bay's so banged up.
They are.
Like, even defensively, they're so banged up. I've doubted the Bears all year. It's bit me in the rear end. but this is playoff football, baby. And Titletown ain't going 0-1 in the playoffs. Give me the Packers. Go, Pack, go.
We are all on the Packers. Take the Bears. Bills at Jaguars. Jansen Kidd is already in the chat. He is having some fun. He is saying, got too many windows open here, 31-24 Jags. This is the game I'm looking forward to most of the entire weekend. And I'm going to make my prediction that whoever wins this game will make the Super Bowl from the AFC.
Wow. That's bold.
That is my prediction. And I am super torn on this because, I just don't think the Bills are that good, but Josh Allen in the playoffs is a different monster. People forget the reason that they've lost in the playoffs is not because of Josh Allen. It's more because of what Mahomes has done at the end of those games and the Chiefs. But the Jags are playing phenomenal right now. Somebody else pick first here because this is my toughest game to pick.
Well, first, I need to apologize. I just kicked the desk out from under you and knocked my glasses off. It was chaos over here. I got excited because this is my favorite game, but this is also one of the ones I feel most confident in, I think, to maybe bet a few units on. I like Jacksonville. I'm with you on Josh Allen. That Buffalo defense, though, scares me. Jacksonville's defense is really good. I wonder if, Buffalo's one and done. Joe Brady out, Brian Daboll in, and then they're back rolling again in Buffalo. Give me the Jags. Let's go, Jansen. Let's get it done.
Right now, if you said what team has the least amount of flaws out of the 14 playoff teams, it's one of the two AFC South teams. It's probably the Jaguars. The Jaguars might be the best team right now. With that being said, the mind is a powerful thing, and they know Mahomes sitting in the playoffs. The Bills are going to find a way to stage a late comeback. I'm sorry, Jansen. It ain't personal. It is a little bit because I don't want the Jags to win a Super Bowl before the Panthers just because we came in the same year. That's the only thing I actually have against Jacksonville. I'd like to see them get there, just not win it. But Josh Allen finds a way, even though I think the Jags are a much better football team.
Well, and Jaguars are also like a Panther. They're part of the Panther family, so then you got that too.
Yeah.
Buffalo. I am going to take the Bills, and that scares me more because I think they're coming to Denver as a result of that. But I'm going to take Bills. I'm going to take Josh Allen. I just think this is going to be a phenomenal game. Jags have been phenomenal. I'm going to go with Buffalo. All right, Niners, Eagles. Eagles are a 5.5-point favorite. That's a lot of points. Are the Niners super banged up or something?
Yeah.
Oh, Fred Warner, Bosa. Their O-line's not very good. Eagles' front's good. We're running low on time. We got to go quick.
Yeah, I'm going Niners.
Yeah, I'm going to go Philadelphia here. I mentioned it to you earlier, Philip. I think San Fran's too banged up. Philadelphia will get it done.
Yeah, look, I think Philadelphia wins the game. 5.5's a lot. I'm just going to hedge my bets here and take San Francisco due to the points.
It's a lot of points for a playoff game. Let's go ahead and get our final break in. We'll come back. We'll make our final picks: Chargers, Patriots, Texans, Steelers. We also got to pick Indiana and Oregon as well. So we'll be right back.
Don't miss year-end deals during the season of giving at Greenville Toyota. Drive a new Camry, just $229 a month, $229 a month, or new RAV4, $279 a month, $279 a month. Hurry in for the season of giving at Greenville Toyota.
You know what the problem is with standard belts? Usually you have to choose between too tight or the opposite, too loose. But with Anson Belt and Buckle, you don't have to choose. We got rid of the holes and instead have a track system designed for micro-adjustability. That way you can enjoy a perfect fit every time. Anson Belt and Buckle. Find your perfect fit today.
Daughtridge Gas and Oil has been your dependable propane supplier for 95 years. Their trained technicians can service and properly install all your propane and natural gas appliances. Plus, Daughtridge Gas and Oil is your backyard expert with fire pits, grills, smokers, and more, including quality outdoor furniture at their Greenville Patio and Hearth Shop at 1901 Charles Boulevard. Go by and see the knowledgeable staff at Daughtridge Gas and Oil for propane delivery or call 756-1345.
Other restaurants claim their food is fresh and fast, but are they friendly? At Moore's, you're treated like family the minute you walk into their doors. With locations in Winterville, New Bern, Swansboro, Morehead City, and Jacksonville. We've been practicing what we preach since 1945. At Moore's, our barbecue is slow cooked and smoked over real wood daily until it's so tender it's falling off the bone. Combined with our fresh chicken, cooked-to-order seafood, and homemade fixins, we're sure you'll agree. If it's not Moore's, it's less.
Your confidence makes everything look good. You see the world in vivid color, not black and white. Swing through your neighborhood Fantastic Sam's Cut in Color and let our experienced stylists take you from everyday to extraordinary.
Fantastic Sam's hair salons are locally owned and operated. Our full-service salons are conveniently located in Goldsboro, Kinston, Greenville, New Bern, Jacksonville, and Calabash. Stop in today at Fantastic Sam's, where the possibilities are endless.
Season of giving is here at Greenville Toyota. Unwrap a new Corolla, $159 a month, $159 a month. Or new Tacoma, $219 a month, $219 a month. Don't miss the season of giving with year-end deals
Loyal
at Greenville
and gold
Toyota.
with purple and golds.
Yo ho ho!
And we're back to Hoist the Colors with Stephen Igo on 94.3 The Game.
All right, welcome back in. Big news of the day, Chasten did a hits the portal right after Mitch Griffis commits. We'll react to that more next week. We already got like 90 replies on the Hoist the Colors thread. Craziness. Let's get our final picks in. We will finish up the playoffs if I can find our group chat. All right, Chargers-Patriots is the Sunday night game. Chargers win, they're automatically going to Denver. Patriots win, they're hosting a AFC divisional round matchup. Patriots 3.5-point favorite. I think Chargers are a legitimately good football team. I think this is a field goal game either way. I'm going to take L.A. to cover.
Chargers will be going to Denver next week for a nice second-round matchup of the playoffs. I think Harbaugh is such a good coach. He's going to know how to go out and grind and win this game on the road. Not that it matters because Chargers have no fan base, and the Patriots just haven't been tested enough this year for me. Give me the Chargers.
This one's tough because the Patriots had the easiest schedule by far. That being said, it's the Chargers in the playoffs. Come on, man. Give me New England.
I do remember last year saying they were going to beat the Texans, and then they just went out and chargered, which is a very real possibility. But I do think this is different. And I hope I want the Chargers to come to Denver. Because
you don't want Buffalo, I can tell you that.
Yeah, and I'm not that scared of the Texans, although they have a great defense. Speaking of the Texans are a 3-point favorite at Pittsburgh. Pittsburgh gets in after the crazy game against Baltimore. I don't know why, but I'm going Steelers here.
I don't know why either. I'm a little unsure. Pittsburgh got in by the skin of
DK
their...
Metcalf is back, right?
Yes, because he was suspended for all that incident with the fan. So Chargers are going to go to Denver for a nice AFC West matchup. Houston's going to go to Jacksonville next week for a nice AFC South matchup. Give me the Texans.
Yeah, I'm not going to overthink this one. I'm going Houston.
The Steelers are the only team in the AFC, in my opinion, that can make the Super Bowl. Cannot make the Super Bowl, I should say, but they can win a game. And it is still Pittsburgh in the playoffs at home.
Oh, they haven't won a home playoff game or a playoff game in general in 10 years.
But how many of those have been at home?
I think they've had 2 or 3, maybe, right out of that gate.
The Texans have had a great year, but can the Texans go on the road and win a big playoff game? Like, have they ever done that?
They have.
They got up 24. They got up 24-0 in Arrowhead one time, and then they would have won if they would have quit keeping count at 24-0.
This is going to be like 13-10, but I'm saying Pittsburgh is in it. Rodgers has actually looked kind of good.
Yes,
like surprisingly, but he is terrified of getting hit. So we'll see. All right, Oregon, Indiana, CFP semifinal tonight. I was about to change my pick to the Texans, but I'm sticking with the Steelers. Oregon, Indiana, 3.5-point favorite. Indiana is. I'm going Ducks here. I think we're getting to Oregon, Miami, Mario Cristobal, national championship, revenge game. So I'm going to go with the Ducks.
Man, that would really suck for Oregon from a travel perspective because weren't they in Florida last week? Yeah,
they've been to Florida, to Georgia,
and then to Florida
back
again.
And forth,
give me Indiana. Normally, I'm hesitant to take somebody to beat another team twice. I just think Indiana is that good and that good defensively. They've been doubted all year. Give me the Hoosiers.
I'm going Hoosiers. Also, if Hoosiers do win it all, they will be the second team in college sports history to have an undefeated football and basketball season. Who's the other team?
UCLA.
Ding, ding, ding. Good job.
I mean, that's the only team I can think of.
The only thing, because my dad asked me, and I was like, well, UNLV did it in 1990 in basketball, but I don't think they've ever done it in football.
Indiana, I just feel like I still have to see them hoisting the trophy to believe it. Now, there's no reason not to believe in them after what they did to Alabama, but Oregon made them look pedestrian during the regular season, and I think they can get them in the rematch. But it should be a fun game. It's been a fun playoffs.
Oh, I agree. I've loved college football playoffs, and again, this is going to go into my argument. End bowl games, expand the playoffs. Love it.
Expand the playoffs. We are out of time on this Football Friday. Again, a lot happening. Stay tuned to hoistthecolors.net all weekend long. 50% off. We are allowing you to subscribe as a first-time subscriber for all the transfer news, visits, etc. Still a ton of breaking news to follow. And ECU will add at least one more quarterback. So stay tuned for that when the appropriate times arrive. All right, Bobby, appreciate you, man.
Yeah, thank you.
I would say good luck in the playoffs, but your team, unfortunately, is not there. So,
hey, we're getting Mike McDaniel as our OC. I'll be happy.
And you're going to run plays out of the fourth grade recess playbook. Have fun with that crap.
Well, it's going to work, and we're going to score touchdowns.
Okay, tell yourself that.
Good luck to your Panthers. Have fun at the game, man. Stay dry, and hopefully it's
do not stay dry. No, we want it wet. We want it windy.
Get wet, get miserable, and then pull out a miracle win. Everybody enjoy the weekend. Enjoy some football. Should be a ton of fun all weekend long. This has been Hoist the Colors. We'll be back Monday, 12 noon. We'll see you then.